how I learned to accept myself the way I am? That's a good question. How did I learn that? By going through a lot of shit by myself. I never had anybody who believed in me. I just had myself, you know? And it's like, if you choose everybody else's influence over your own thoughts, over your own feelings about yourself, you're gonna be miserable if you make other people's opinions your reality, right? And I didn't want to be horrible. So I made that decision first, that I didn't want to be horrible. And I knew in term if I wanted to not be horrible, if I wanted to get better, I had to learn how to accept myself and just love myself. So I would just choose what I wanted over the opinion of other people. I would bet on myself. It's like you have to think of yourself as your best friend, okay? And now you have your best friend, and then there are all these other people and their opinions, right? And it's basically like choosing what everybody else says over what your best friend is saying. So you let down your best friend every single time. And you have to start listening to your best friend and choose your best friend over anybody else. So choose yourself. That and then just fake it till you make it, kind of. What advice would you give if you had to talk to a therapist about what is happening in your life? Listen, first of all, I think no therapist in the world can help you if you're not open for it. If you don't want to put in the work, if you don't want to talk to somebody, it's not going to help you. You have to be open to get help. You have to be ready and willing to get help. That's number 1. And then number 2, just be honest. Therapy is a place where you can just talk. When I went to therapy, and I went to therapy for multiple years, and it helped me the most when I was just open for it. When I felt like I didn't really need therapy, but I wanted to get an outside opinion. Because it's a person who got nothing to do with you, right? And they just listen to you and try to help. That's great. So just, be open for it, but you have to be. You want to get better, you have to work on it, and you have to allow yourself to feel all these emotions and like get straight into it. I still have feelings for my best friend, and she still knows, but sadly she has a girlfriend. What should I do? Move on. Don't I at this point wouldn't recommend holding on to it because you're only hurting yourself. She has somebody, don't make yourself suffer. Just you know, whatever is meant to happen will happen. Maybe check out my latest audio. It's on the topic of breaking up, but basically, you can just, implement it into this situation. Focus on you. I know love is a great thing, and being in love and feeling loved and being in a relationship and having somebody to make out with, great stuff. But if you lose yourself when somebody else is gone or whatever, or when you're not with somebody, that's worse than being alone. Tried running away last night, and yes, I already watched it 2 nights ago. The night I got dumped. Why would you run? Running away doesn't help because you can't run away from you or your feelings or anything. You have to face all of that shit, whatever it is. And she is with somebody, and that's supposed to be like that. And it's not you. Sucks. Guess what? I got dumped too, kind of, the other day. So, not supposed to be. Move on. There's never not a reason behind things happening. I love myself. That doesn't sound very convincing. What I've learned is that you can say you love yourself all you want. If you don't feel it, you don't feel it. And it's okay to be honest because you have to be honest and be honest with where you're standing right now. And if right now you're feeling like you do not love yourself, okay. I mean, you can work on it, and that is great. But if you just keep telling yourself, okay, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself, but you don't feel it, you have to be honest with yourself first. You have to be like, okay, so this is where I'm standing right now. Right now, I don't feel this way about myself, but I will improve. You have to look for the path of least resistance. If I love myself doesn't work, if you're feeling resistance, try something that's not as big as love. Like I'm learning to love myself. I'm learning to like myself, if that still feels too much. I'm learning to and accept myself the way I am. I'm learning to accept myself the way I am. I'm learning, that means you're making progress. That feels better. Doesn't feel as intense as I love myself. I'm learning to accept myself. I'm learning to like myself. I'm learning to love myself. You can always improve upon that, But say what feels right. Walk the path of least resistance. I'm learning to be myself again. That is wonderful. You're remembering who you are. Amazing. Maybe I don't love myself, but I'm good with me. Like I'm with a classmate or something like this. I would give me a high five, but not look in the mirror and think, oh yeah, I love this person. Yeah, but that's a start. Every relationship begins somewhere. Every relationship didn't begin with, oh my god, I fucking love you. It all began with a hi. Have you ever, stood in front of a mirror or just sat down with yourself and actually asked yourself and honestly gave yourself an honest answer, like, how are you feeling? And once I sat down and I asked myself that and I broke down. And that is okay. Cuz sometimes, we just have to keep going and we repress our emotions and then we sit down, you're asking yourself like, how are you even feeling? And then everything just comes out. And you don't have to lie to yourself. It's great that you would give yourself a high five because guess what? Some people wouldn't even give themselves a high five. So that's great. And then you can always improve upon that. But that is something. That's great. You can only get better if you're willing to face the truth. Face yourself. And as long as you're running away, you're not going to improve. You're not going to get better. And I'm learning that myself over and over and over again. Cuz sometimes I'm like, okay, like I've improved. I'm better, right? And I keep telling myself that, but really there's still a lot of work to be done, and I should be more honest with myself. Because it is okay if you will not like the answer. The thing is you have the power to change it. But to change it, you have to be honest with yourself first. And yeah, guess why so many people are horrible? Because they're afraid of being honest with themselves. Because it might hurt. That, oh my god, they're living a lie and they've done it to themselves. Guess what? We're always doing it to ourselves. Surprise. If you really want to get better, you have to face yourself first. And if you look for the issues around yourself, you're only projecting. Here, dude, that's where it starts. I've been there. I am there. Guys, honestly, after this live stream, I'm sitting down on my ass and I'm meditating cuz there's work to be done. I understand, like I have these big ass fucking dreams, right? But I understand that I'm only going to get there when I do the work within myself first because it's necessary. I'm not going to get to where I want to be until I'm ready. I have to be ready for it, kind of. Like you're never really ready, whatever. And usually we keep that stuff so locked away and hidden and we repress it. Our eyes like fill up with tears out of nowhere because the truth is just sitting inside and it's being repressed. Kind of being, you imagine the truth as being held like a prisoner inside of you and you're scared to face it. But it's not even a criminal. Whatever. And then the truth is just sitting in the corner in its cell and all of a sudden it hears the truth from somebody else. So it's like, oh my god. And then it starts shaking on the bars. And your eyes start to water. And the truth is like, let me out! And that's why you're crying. Because the truth is hearing the truth and is like, oh my god. But every single time you tell the truth to just shut the fuck up. And it's not going to get any better unless you just sit down with the truth. This night I will ask myself, you're right, I'm afraid as fuck, but you reach my heart. Don't be afraid. Most of us are living this big lie, right? And we try to fit in with everybody else and we're stressed out. Guess what? If you're feeling stressed out, you're not in alignment with who you truly are. What's the worst thing that can happen when you sit down with yourself and you're being honest with yourself? Oh my god, the real you gets to talk. and come out. The reason why it hurts is because you've locked yourself away for so long. And it's like all the anger and the hate and whatnot we feel towards ourselves is because when we got into school and whatnot, that's when the inner child was locked away and we started to become somebody that we're not. And we started to become a part of society and we got shaped and influenced by society, right? And all of a sudden you're sitting down with yourself and it's like talking to this long lost person and you don't know how they're like gonna respond to you. But it's all love. And of course, it can be painful because you're living a lie. Guys, I said that in my first vlog. It's literally called I've been lying to myself. And I've done it my entire life. The thing is, I'm not some like guru who's been through it all and now I'm just giving away everything, right? I'm still learning. I'm learning daily. I'm just giving away what I've learned already in hopes to maybe inspire somebody or help somebody make it over the hump I've already kind of made it over. But I'm continuously learning and sometimes even still going through the same stuff that I'm preaching. Sometimes it comes in multiple rounds, and that is okay until like you've mastered the lesson, you know? We really have to heal that relationship to that inner child. Hug your inner child. Like when you think back to a point in your childhood or where you were younger when you got hurt and it traumatized you, and hug that version of yourself and be there for yourself and talk to yourself and be honest to yourself. The worst thing that can happen when you're being honest with yourself is that you and this is the part that hurts because you realize you've been living a lie and you've been doing it to yourself because you are the creator of your own reality. But literally the worst thing that can happen is you start to become yourself. And that's not a bad thing at all. It's all for the greater good. We're so scared of what we don't know. It's like we don't even know ourselves. We have to remember who we are. That's all it is. There's no need to be scared. I know it's scary. Like the unknown has always been scary, right? But once you make that leap of faith, you take it and you jump and you land, or you even all of a sudden you realize you have wings and you can fly. Somebody asked me some tips I can give to somebody who meditates for the first time. You're going to think. Thoughts are part of it. Because you always think, oh, when you meditate and all of this, you have to just stop thinking. That's not how it works. It's not giving thoughts attention. I always like to think of it like this. So you can focus on many things. You can focus on your breathing. You can focus on your hands. You can focus on sounds. That's why sometimes I like to just put on some, I don't know, some nature sounds on YouTube and listen to that. Focus on that. But you can also visualize. And I like when I started to get into meditation, I like to visualize it like this. So I was sitting on top of a mountain, right? And the mountain was so high that it was like reaching through the clouds. So around me, I had clouds, right? I am the mountain, and the clouds are thoughts. And when a thought came, I just looked at it and let it pass like the clouds. It's trying to always come back into focus and just again focus on your breathing, on your hands, whatever you want to focus on. There you can get to that point where literally it's just like and you're not even thinking really. But don't get mad at yourself for thinking because it's still going to happen. But it's about learning to become the observer, not the thinker, the observer. Whenever I would have religion in school, me and my friends weren't in the mood to learn, we would just ask the teacher if we could meditate for 45 minutes. You know, that's a lot. When you start meditating, try meditating for 5 minutes, for 10 minutes. For some people, meditating and just sitting down, they literally, for some reason, can't do that. You can still meditate in different ways. That's possible. Music meditation. Like just put on your favorite music and dance your fucking heart out. That's a form of meditation as well. There are many forms of meditation. It's not just sitting there and being like, you know, I've been trying to change myself for the better since last year, but it feels like only a handful of people are supporting me. No, the changes will help, but how do I convince others that this is true? You don't convince others. Convince yourself. What you need to do is support yourself. You don't need anybody else. Everybody else is just a bonus. Guess what? My parents literally told me that they don't believe in me or what I'm doing. Does this stop me from doing what I'm doing? No, because I got me. I have to have me. That's where it begins, and everybody else is just a bonus. I know we want people to believe in us, and it feels great when others do. When somebody tells us, hey, I believe in you, and you can do this, feels great, but you don't need it. You need you. So work on that first. You have to give yourself that first. And then, first of all, you're gonna develop this, pardon my French, I don't give a fuck attitude. And you're just gonna be proud of yourself because you're doing what you want to do and it feels good, you know. And then eventually people are going to see how focused you are on yourself and that you're just doing whatever it is that you want to do, and that inspires people. And that's basically how you make people believe in you. When they see that you believe in what you're doing, people are going to start believing in you too. But if people see that you don't even believe in yourself, if you don't believe in yourself, how do you expect other people to do it? My mom's like, I don't believe in what you're doing on the internet. And I'm like, Mom, I managed to get 21,500 people to follow me. One of my videos has 2.5 million views. And I get comments every day of how much I'm helping people. So I don't, like, excuse me, but I don't give a fuck. Like, I did that, and I'm fucking proud of it. I feel like people study too much, and then they fuck up. Because they don't even trust themselves. It's like, oh my god, I have to study, I have to study, I have to study. Like, you're not stupid. And then you overstudy, and then the test comes around, you black out. Then what the fuck? Time wasted. Everything needs to be a balance. If you feel stressed out when you learn, when you come to a point where literally you feel like nothing else is going to fit into your head anymore, but you have to keep learning, right? Take a break. You're only hurting yourself. You're not doing yourself any good. And trust me, a 5-minute or 10-minute break is going to help you way more than just studying for hours without any breaks. Your body, your mind, your spirit, they know what is important and what they need. So, like, listen. I lost myself. I lost it. I lost my trust in people. I'm always scared. I trusted too many people and I lost them. I don't want to be like this. I don't believe in myself. I don't want to live. How can I change? Everything that you just said, read it. First of all, you can't lose yourself. I know sometimes we feel lost, but you can't, like, lose yourself. You have to just remember who you are. You forgot. You trusted too many people and they left. Guess what? Do you want to know how many times that shit happened to me? Look for the love you wish to receive in others. You have to start with yourself. Now, fear, being scared, fear is the opposite, is the actual opposite of love. It's not hate. Hate's origin is fear. So fear is actually the opposite of love. Darkness is just the absence of light. You have to start working on the relationship you have with yourself first. Don't look to other people. The good thing is, the greatest thing you wrote in that little thing was, how can I change? Because you want to. Listen, I am are two of the most important words in your life because they shape your reality. I made a video. It's called 5 Tips How to Live a More Positive Life. 11/10 recommend. Watch it. You have to become your own best friend because you are. You basically, so far, you've been pushing your best friend back and listening to everybody else and looking for love in everybody else. While your best friend, you, has been waiting for you to just come back. So now everybody's gone, right? The trust has been demolished. It's not existing anymore because everybody's left. Everybody's let you down. Guess what that's trying to tell you? Go back to yourself. Yourself is waiting for you. I don't even know who I am, but you will find out if you take the time. Because you know, you just don't remember right now. But you can. I know a lot of you guys don't want to be alone because you're scared. You're literally scared of yourself. Fear is the opposite of love. You have to. There's no way around. Only way around is through to get to where you want to be.